Hello students, this is me Saurav Barwai. I am making this recording for the students of class 10 for the subject of social science. In this particular video, we are going to learn about economic development. Before we begin, here is a guide for you to watch this video and get a good experience. First, set the quality to HD or at least 480 pixels. And the second one, preferably watch the video in full screen mode in order to avoid any distractions. For the convenience of understanding, the video has been divided into two parts. In the first part, we're going to learn about economic growth and development, human development, economic planning, and democratic planning. Whereas in the second part of the video, we're going to learn about economic planning in India, liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Let's begin with economic growth. Economic growth is a quantitative concept. Quantitative concept means it measures in terms of numbers, that is 1, 2, 3 in this manner. Economic growth, it generally relates to the growth in output in the economy, and in particular it relates to the growth in the per capita income of the country. Now, for those of you who don't know the meaning of per capita income, it is the income per head. It is calculated by dividing the national income by the total population of the country. As per the World Bank, the countries above per capita income of $750 were developed, whereas those countries that were below this threshold were underdeveloped countries. I hope the meaning of economic growth is clear. Second, economic development. As we have learned that economic growth is a quantitative concept, in the same manner, economic development is a qualitative concept. It is actually more of a qualitative concept, not completely a qualitative concept. This is the reason behind this is that economic development also includes the concept of economic growth. Without the growth in the per capita income, the standard of living of any country cannot be improved. Although, as it includes the quantitative concept of growth, then why it is a qualitative concept? That's another question again. This is because economic development also includes, apart from including the growth, it also includes the changes in areas or sectors that are economically and socially significant. And what do you mean by such areas? These areas are education, then employment, poverty, to name a few. This means that economic development is a broader concept than economic growth, because economic development includes economic growth plus the changes in areas or sectors that are economically and socially significant. The next concept is human development. The Human Development Report, which is an annual publication of the United Nations Development Programme, was first published in the year 1990. And this report gave us three different indicators of human development. The first one being the life expectancy. What is the meaning of life expectancy? It is the number of years that a child is expected to live at the time of birth. Just suppose if a child is born today, for how many years the child is going to live? That is the life expectancy of that particular child. The second point or second indicator is literacy. I hope you know the meaning of literacy. It is the ability to read and write. Literacy, this indicator measures the level of adult literacy and gross enrollment ratio of primary and secondary education. The third standard or the third indicator is standard of living, and this basically measures the accessibility to pure drinking water and sanitation. Next point is the Human Development Report of 2010. In this slide, we have discussed about the Human Development Report of 1990. Okay, and now we're gonna discuss about the Human Development Report of 2010. This report introduced three different or new concepts of human development, and they are the Inequality Adjusted Human Development Index. This particular index measures the impact of development on different classes of people in the society, that is the lower class, middle class and upper class, the impact of development on these classes of people in the society. The second concept is Gender Inequality Index. This measures the inequalities between the male and female in the society. The third concept is Multidimensional Poverty Index, and this measures the different forms of poverty that may exist in an economy. Next point is economic planning. Before you go on to the discussion of the meaning of economic planning or more about economic planning in India, we have to first know the meaning of economic planning. Economic planning, in very simple words, is an instrument to attain well-defined objectives within a definite time period as determined by a central planning agency. Now, what do you mean by this definition here? If you read the definition again, you'll get certain points that you need to know about. There are well-defined objectives. There are well-defined objectives. This means that planning is always made for the achievement of certain objectives, and it is for a definite period of time, say 1 year, 5 year, 3 year, right? And it is determined, and this by whom these objectives are determined and the time period is determined. It is determined by a central planning agency. If you read this definition, there are three different parts of this definition that are very important to understand. Now, economic planning, it is an instrument to attain well-defined objectives. This means that there are well-defined objectives in an economic planning, and these objectives are to be attained or achieved within a definite period of time, say 1 year or 3 year or 5 year. And by whom this objectives and definite time period is determined? It is determined by a central planning agency. This central planning agency was earlier the Planning Commission of India. At present, it is the NITI Ayog. This central planning agency, earlier it was the Planning Commission of India. Now it is the NITI Ayog. We'll learn more about NITI Ayog in the next slide. Now, as we have read that there are certain well-defined objectives, so let's see some of the objectives of planning in India. The first one is to raise the rate of growth of the economy. This is a common objective that is in every economic planning of every country. Second one, remove socio-economic inequalities. Then, to remove poverty, to expand employment opportunities, to remove regional inequalities, and to ensure sustainable development, that is the development that doesn't cause damage to the environment. Next point is on NITI Ayog. The Planning Commission, as I have already told you, the Central Planning Agency was the Planning Commission of India. It has been replaced by NITI Ayog, and NITI stands for National Institution for Transforming. This is not transform, transforming, transforming India. So NITI Ayog, it came into operation from, please remember this date, it is January 1st, 2015, and the first meeting of NITI Ayog was held on February 8th, 2015. In which place? In Delhi. And who are the members of NITI Ayog? The chairman, always remember, it is the Prime Minister of India. The present Prime Minister of India is the chairman of NITI Ayog. And apart from the Prime Minister, there are other members. They are the Vice Chairman, the Chief Ministers of States, Lieutenant Governors of Union Territories, 4 Central Ministers. That is from the Central Cabinet. The ministers from the Central Cabinet. And these are from 4 number. Then the Chief Executive Officer. And there are certain experts from different fields. Next is democratic planning. What is the meaning of democratic planning? Democratic planning is a planning in which people participate in different stages of plan making. I hope you know the meaning of democracy. Democracy is a type of government where people choose their own representatives. So in the same manner, democratic planning, people participate in different stages of plan making. And this means that the decisions are not imposed from the top. In India, there are 3 layers of administration: the central government, the state government, and the local bodies. The local bodies means the panchayats and the municipalities. The plan schemes are discussed at each of these 3 layers by the representatives of the people, that is the panchayats, municipalities. I mean, in the municipalities we have members and other representatives, that is the MLAs and MPs. So the plan schemes are discussed at all these 3 levels. In the central, that is by the central government, the plan schemes are discussed in the parliament. By the state government, it is discussed in the state legislative assemblies, and by the local bodies, these are generally discussed in the gram sabhas. Now, as the plan schemes are formulated and discussed at the lower level of administration, these are the lower level of administration, that is panchayats and municipalities. So as the plan schemes are formulated and discussed at the lower level of administration, that is the local bodies, it is also known as grassroots planning. I hope you are clear about the meaning of economic planning and democratic planning by now. And with this, we have come to an end to this particular video. Thank you for watching.